This is Donna, and we are live here in Nashville, and you might recognize Cynthia. We met yesterday and did an interview, and today we are going to talk about Live Bold. And so I want to make sure that you have been following all of the interviews. We have posted them on Facebook Live, and they're also going to be on Facebook, let's hope forever, until we are called back home, let's say that. So we're going to let Cynthia and Andrea, is that how you say it? Andrea, tell us a little bit about themselves, and then they're going to share about the book Live Bold. So I'll let you guys tell a little bit about yourself.
My name's Andrea Tomassi. This is my cousin Cindy. I call her Cynthia. Everyone calls her Cynthia, but she's Cindy to me. I have been married for 30 years. I have 3 grown children, and I have 3 wonderful grandchildren under 3. They're just the highlight of my life. And it was just amazing to write this book with Cynthia. This is my first book. So I've kind of been, thank you, I've kind of been riding on her coattails all my life, I should kind of say. But it's nice to come together now as adult women and have this love for reaching other women together. God has put that passion in both of our hearts.
And I'm Cynthia, and I'm her older cousin. I want to be.
But you couldn't tell. Come on, she looks amazing.
I want to be just like her when I grow up. She's loving and gracious, and just the best partner to write with I could possibly ask for. And we actually get along well. Yeah. You know, we've been together every month, traveling, doing different events, and we don't really get too crabby at each other. I mean, I get crabby at her, and then I have to say I'm sorry, but she's really gracious. She's the perfect roommate. So anyway, so I have 3 sons, 3 married sons, and I have 7 grandchildren, ranging from 9 all the way down to about 4 months old. And they are, you know, if I knew how much fun, you've heard the saying, if you know how much fun being a grandma was, I would have done that first. I'm just a much better grandmother than I was a mother. Sure. And so they're just the delight of my life. And so that my family is really important to me. And then I love to write. I love to teach at women's events. I also teach in a leadership degree program at Trinity Western University, teach international students and adult learners, and then in my spare time, I love to knit, and I love to sew, and I know it's so opposite of everything else I do, but it's kind of like my therapy.
Yeah, your way to escape. So let's talk about, tell us about the book, and then we would love to know, like, what inspired it.
Sure.
Let me take it?
You take it.
Okay. So Cynthia and I spoke at a women's retreat at the city that I live in last year?
A year ago.
A year and a half ago. And we did a live video for a Bible study that she was currently doing just on Facebook. And so she asked me to join in. It was talking about love in that particular week that she was studying. And we did this video, and the feedback that we got from everybody was, oh my gosh, like, you guys are just amazing together. The dynamics between you two and the candor back and forth, you guys need to do more videos. And so we thought, well, when her Bible study's over, why don't we start another one? So we decided to come up with a theme, Live Bold, and I flew up to Seattle, and we shot 8 videos, and it was only supposed to be an 8-week Facebook kind of group. That we would take them through. Just at that point, it was only 8 themes: bold trust, bold truth, bold identity, things that women struggle with, everybody for that matter. And she said to me, you know, one day, Andrew, this is going to turn into a book. I didn't see it coming, but you know, God put that on her heart. And so when the opportunity came, we just said, hey, instead of doing an 8-week thing, why don't we make it a year-long Live Bold kind of challenge for women? And so we decided to come up with actually 12 themes and do one for each month, and that's kind of how the book was birthed, inspired by our grandmother's love for poetry and writing. So
very good.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
It is. So kind of share with us a couple of the themes. So you said like trust, that's one, and then what were a couple others in there?
Sure. Bold friendship was the month of August, and bold truth. Andrea mentioned bold identity, bold faith. So all of them were, you know, directed to in the writing, like, okay, how do we live out bold prayer? How do we walk out bold faith? How do we walk out bold trust? So, like, for instance, this month our theme is trust. So if you are a part of our community. You know, we do little, you know, fun videos. We have some discussion. We send out our video at the beginning of the month, every month, if you sign up to be a part of our community, and then you receive an email. We'll try not to bother you too much. And, you know, some printables and PDFs that can help you in that. And so those are some of the themes that there's 12 of them. I don't have them all 12 memorized, but I could give you a few more just from the table of bold obedience. Now that is a big one. And Andrea just does she has some great entries in that. And so the book is organized by theme, so you could use it per month if you want to, and then there's one devotional per week, so that you can just kind of let it soak in, and then a scripture verse, and then what we call a bold action step that we invite you. It might be like, you know, write a letter, bold friendship, write a letter to someone that needs encouragement, that maybe you haven't told them in a while how they walked alongside of you in a hard time, or so we try to move people out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, and putting it into action, I think, helps solidify it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Anything that well, let's talk about your Facebook group. So how would they find it, and then how do they sign up?
Well, you could go to livingbold.org, O-R-G, and at the bottom of the homepage, you can sign up where it says Join the Live Bold series. And once you sign up, you'll get an email that will give you an amazing printable. She's a professor, so she puts together all the curriculum. It's incredible. But it's 5 steps to getting your bold on in 2018, and it's a really neat worksheet. But you'll also get a link to the Facebook group once you sign up, and so you click on that and.
So that's what's also been nice about it, is it's a private group, so it's just the people in it can see like what you guys are discussing.
The group is actually a public group, but there are questions that you need to answer, so that we kind of distinguish between just the person coming in or the one actually wanting to be active in the group.
So we're vigilant about that, you know, about who we want to be and share. And you know, some of the topics, like we just finished highlighting a book of our friends, Soul Care. We called it our end of summer adventure, Soul Care When You're Weary. I think you interviewed Edie. So we did 5 weeks of that, and it's not a sensitive topic, and so we made it public and just encouraged people to. And the sharing the post was things like, because it was creative, like, you know, your drawing or your acrostic on peace and what that meant to you, and so. So for right now, it's a public group, but if we were ever to do like a study or a topic that was sensitive, then we definitely would create another group and make it more of a closed group.
Well, you might be reaching more people with it being public.
Yes,
too,
exactly.
Right.
And that's kind of the idea. We want to reach women for Jesus to live bold.
For sure.
Right. So in closing, what would you want to share with the women out there who might be struggling with living bold? Like they've either stepped out and feel like it didn't work well, you know, or they just don't have that confidence yet.
I really, you know, living bold, so many times I think we as women, we make decisions based on what we're feeling in that moment. And that can be very dangerous sometimes, right? And I think it's really important to be bold in the fact of believing the truth and what Jesus says and what the Bible says, and believing in his promises, even if we don't see it yet with our own eyes, but to know that no matter what we're going through, that he's going to take that and bring good out of it. And I know that's really, really hard to see sometimes with our own eyes, but if you believe that to be the absolute truth, then I know that your feelings will eventually catch up, because you're not going to stay in that place forever. He doesn't tell us that we're going to stay, and that he's going to come and rescue us, and he's going to be there for us. And so to believe in the truth before you see it, I think is a huge, bold step.
And that you can live bold. I mean, you might be shy and an introvert and think, well, that's easy for you to say, Cynthia, because you're kind of an out there personality. But anyone can live bold. I mean, I like to be comfortable, just like everybody else. So my encouragement would be, you know, in the Bible it talks about we can come boldly to the throne of grace. We are called to be bold, and you can do it. It's just taking it that one step.
And our theme verse that we have, that when we put on all the books that we sign, and it's Psalm 138:3, and it says, "I cried out to you, and you answered me, and you made me bold and gave me strength in my soul." And so if you look at the title, you know, a devotional to strengthen yourself, we found that verse after.
Yes.
After we picked this. So it would just confirm to us that, oh my gosh, there's already a verse that says
Yes.
that. You know, so
Wow,
it was so God ordained from the whole thing. Because I think as authors, what we need to realize and we need to understand and be mindful of is that, you know, God puts these ideas and the thoughts in our minds. We're just the storytellers, right? He the stories and the events, all of these are actual events. You know, you look at if you read the devotional, say Cynthia on one week and I'll say Andrea on the other. So you know who's speaking. It's not like you're reading it and you're wondering, who did this happen to? So you can kind of really connect with us. They're real stories. We're vulnerable. We put it out there. Sometimes they're stories that particularly people just don't want to talk about because they're painful.
That we struggle with in living whole. I'm a big chicken, like with big feathers.
Well, and I think all of us can be a chicken. It's just that whatever area that, you know, like I can maybe speak boldly here and then you put me somewhere else and I'm like, oh no. Like I love doing these interviews and Anita asked me, oh, I'd like to put you on the broadcast. I'm like, what? I'm on this side.
Right.
So it's all.
But I think the boldness that we need to remember is the boldness isn't anything that we can do on our own.
That's right.
The boldness comes through our faith and trusting and walking with Him every single day, to ask Him to give us that boldness, show us the people in our lives. Bring me somebody today, Lord, that I could be bold, that I could show my boldness to. He will if you ask Him.
That's right. And that verse, you make me bold with strength in my soul. It doesn't say I cried out to the Lord and I can make myself bold. It says you made me bold with strength in my soul. And that's what we have to remember.
Wow. You guys that have been watching all day, like these authors, they may know each other, but they don't know like how they're being interviewed. And I'm amazed at the themes that run through all of the interviews. And it has to be a God thing, you know, because just what you said about finding someone that you can be bold with. I just interviewed the face-to-face mentoring lady.
Wow.
And she was praying, you know, she was saying like, pray that God will bring you somebody, you know, either to mentor or to be a mentee, you know, and I love how God just reinforces His message throughout the whole day. It's just beautiful. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you have not seen the other interviews, they're just wonderful. I was just saying that I get so sad when I'm on the flight to go home because these are all over. But then you know what I do? I just watch them again, and I get this feeling of just being here. And I hope you can get that same feeling as you watch them. These women are just amazing, which is another reason I highly like the videos, because I want people to get to know you. And I just feel like they can do that here.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to meet with you today.
Thanks for having us.
I love it. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.